I gather in my brief conversation with him that he's here to meet a long-term internet girlfriend. He's never been to Australia before. They've never actually met before, but apparently known one another for 10 years. So why he's decided to come now, we'll try and establish that.
Border Force Officer Jamie will formally interview the man to determine if he will be allowed to enter the country.
So what's your intention in Tasmania? Are you...
Just a visitor, and then to bring gifts to her kids.
Okay.
And spend some time with her, and then go back to America. And then she's probably going to be coming to America
to Denver
to live.
Okay. So is she an Australian citizen?
Yeah.
The man says he will marry his online love named Anna, who is divorced from her husband who mistreated her, and that her 3 children will also be moving to America.
Citizen. So
she has a 9-year-old,
and
she has twins that are 2.
Is Anna would you regard her as your girlfriend?
I would regard her as my fiance.
Your fiance. Is it unusual that you'd be planning a future with someone you haven't actually met?
I guess, but I know her as good as anybody else. Anybody can know somebody.
So
it's an unusual story, and Border Force officers need to speak to Anna to try and get the answers to some important questions.
If she's aware of the visit, if she knows who the gentleman is, and if she's prepared to take care of him while he's in Australia.
If Officer Jamie can confirm that she is expecting him,
Anna, this is Border Force at Brisbane
passenger
Airport.
could soon be finally meeting his internet love of the last 10 years in person.
Anna, I'm just calling you in regard US citizen that's arrived today. If you could call me back urgently.
It seems Anna isn't answering her phone.
It doesn't bode well for the gentleman.
But the passenger, Pete, is not worried.
Have you spoken to her on that mobile number?
It's really hard for me to contact her from America. Only talk to her maybe once a week or something like that at the best.
While he waits for Anna to respond to his voice message, Officer Jamie turns his attention to another concern: the passenger's lack of funds.
You didn't actually pay for this trip, did you?
I didn't pay for it.
The man explains he lives with his mum in Denver and needed financial help to get here.
What would your income be per week?
About $1,500 a week.
Would it not have been possible for you to come to Australia with your own funds?
He then reveals the shocking reason why he has no money.
No, I support her, so most of my money goes to that.
So what is your...
In a startling admission, the passenger claims he has sent Anna money on a regular basis throughout their decade-long relationship. But when Officer Jamie tries once again to reach Anna, he is unsuccessful.
Your story sort of hinges on Anna. We need to contact her to really confirm some of the details you've provided us. Without contact on her, we might have to make a decision based on what we've got in front of us. Now, we have no confirmation about your funds.
The man is carrying only $6 in cash, but says he has money in a bank account.
What are my available funds?
Finally, it's some good news for the passenger.
I'm happy that you've got access to $1,700, so we'll end it there.
It's sufficient funds for his 12-day stay, and Officer Jamie also confirms that the passenger, Pete, has somewhere to stay in Tasmania.
Thank you, you too. Bye-bye. Yep, that confirms that his accommodation has been booked and paid for 12 days.
It appears Pete is telling the truth, but there are lingering concerns as to why the woman he has come all this way to see can't be reached.
I'm having some difficulty getting hold of Anna. Can you think of why, or do you have an alternative number?
I don't know why. Well, they're her technology. I can't get to
Well, it's a mobile phone. I mean, can you send her a text message now?
And maybe ask her to call you? Yeah.
So they try and contact Anna directly on the passenger's phone.
Can you put in there urgently?
It's sent.
There's really not much more I can do now. Give it 10 or 15 minutes, see if she actually does call back. But
maybe you could call. Oh, you might be able to call Natasha. I don't know her number.
Who's Natasha?
That's where we send money to when we send money to Anna because she doesn't have an ID. Anna doesn't have an ID. So we have to send money to Natasha's for her to pick up for
When you say we, who are you referring to?
me and my mom.
You and your mum, okay. Is it mainly your mother's money?
No, mainly mine.
With this new information, Officer Jamie strongly suspects that this trusting passenger may be headed for heartbreak.
Have you ever Skyped Anna?
No. No, just talked to her on the phone and texts and stuff.
She never sent you a photograph?
I haven't sent her a photograph of me either.
Interesting.
Alarm bells are ringing after the passenger, Pete, revealed that the money he sends to Anna is collected by her friend, Natasha.
So, Natasha's your normal point of contact, yep, for the money?
For the money.
About approximately how much in total would you have sent? Just as a rough estimate, what would you say?
I don't know. Tens of thousands.
Has it occurred to you that the story that these girls have told you may not be quite as it seems?
Yeah, I know, but a lot of people have doubted the whole story, and I continue to just trust.
Border Force officers are not as trusting, but with sufficient funds, accommodation booked and a return ticket, a decision is made to allow the passenger to travel on to Tasmania, where hopefully Anna will be waiting. But Supervising Officer Chris is not so sure.
I think he's a very trusting man who unfortunately has been caught up in what appears to be a scam and has come out to Australia to actually meet the person that he thought he'd known for the last 10 years and has been sending money to on a regular basis. And in his eyes, she actually exists and lives in Tasmania, but it appears that she may not.
With still no response from Anna or her friend Natasha, the passenger remains positive about the outcome.
Once I get there, that'll be the solidifying or the one way or the other. Either it's real and I've connected with her, I've seen her, I have pictures now or all this stuff, you know, I've got cameras. Or I'll go to America and I'll realize that I'm not gonna have to send money anymore.
Pete's flight home from Tasmania will bring him back via Melbourne, and Border Force officers will check in with him on his return in 12 days.
The whole purpose was coming to meet Anna. That was it. That's why I came. That's why a friend of mine paid for plane tickets and a hotel for me to meet Anna. I was in my mind, I was envisioning seeing her kids, spending time with her, starting my family, starting being a father, being a husband. So it looks like for now it's been postponed.
When he got to Tasmania, Anna wasn't there.
At 8:30.
Yeah,
Wow.
35 minutes.
Wow.
But incredibly, her friend Natasha was, and she told Pete that Anna and her children had left the state a couple of days earlier.
Didn't find her. Nope. My emotions are up and down. Yesterday, I went to the store and saw fishing poles. Her son likes to fish. I cried in the store, you know, wishing that I could be with this boy. And you know, when he was 3 years old, it's the only time I ever talked to him, and I told him I wanted to be his dad, you know, to be his father and to be Anna's husband. And everybody's against me. Oh, you know, quit sending money, blah, blah, blah. I can't. She's an investment now to me, you know, she's my family. I'm going home today, going back to work, supporting Anna. She's the most important thing in the world to me.